You ever just look at someone you've known for years and suddenly feel like you're staring at a stranger? That was me last week. But I guess this mess started way earlier than that. A year ago, maybe nah. If I'm honest, it probably started the day we let Veronica into our lives. Anyway, here's how it all went to hell. A year ago, life was good. Not flashy, but solid. Me and Matt had been building our health data startup from scratch. Like literal garage code hacking, ramen-fueled startup days. We were partners, in every way. Co-founders, roommates, couple you name it. We'd gone from sleepless nights to finally landing seed funding in a tiny office space near Palo Alto. And honestly, I was proud of us. Matt was always the smoother talker, the one with the charisma for investors. I handled back-end systems, dev hiring, UI hell, and HR. Classic split. We'd joke that he sold the dream, and I made sure it wouldn't crash on launch day. I wasn't the type to seek the spotlight. I liked building stuff, making it real. Then came Veronica, this so-called startup coach Matt met at a pitch event. You know, the type glossy LinkedIn profile, TEDx speaker vibes, always saying shit like elevate your personal brand and leverage your founder identity. From day one, I didn't vibe with her. Something felt curated, calculated. But Matt was dazzled. Said she was connected, a power node, whatever the hell that means. Still, I let it slide. She offered to mentor both of us. But really, she only ever pulled Matt aside. She'd call him late at night about brand strategy. Told him I was technical glue, but not founder face material. Yeah, that stung, but I swallowed it. Then little things started shifting. Matt stopped wearing the black hoodie we got for our launch party. The one with our company logo that we designed in my damn kitchen. He switched to these weird turtlenecks and blazers that looked like knockoff Steve Jobs cosplay. Our Saturday code and chill sessions turned into strategic brunches with potential backers. And me, I was slowly being moved out of the front-facing picture. He told me once, "Babe, it's not personal, it's just optics. Investors respond better when there's a clear visionary." UTF, dude. I was the damn vision. I wrote the first prototype in my dorm room while eating expired trail mix. But again, I let it slide. Told myself I was being sensitive. Told myself this was just the rough part of scaling up. Then came the demo night invite. Veronica suggested we host a private demo night on Valentine's Day. Because what's more romantic than showing commitment to your vision? Gag me. But we said yes. It was supposed to be an exclusive investor showcase, a coming out party for our MVP. I spent 2 weeks straight fixing memory leaks, building dashboards, getting the product to freaking run clean on mobile. And Matt, he spent it rehearsing lines with Veronica. Something about it felt weird. But again, stupid me, I brushed it off. Then came the outfit moment. He walked out wearing this red blazer Veronica picked for him. Bright, flashy, distracting. I said, "You look like an NFT hype man." He laughed. Said Veronica thought it would pop on camera. I just nodded. My hoodie had coffee stains. I didn't care. But deep down, I felt the first real crack. Like, this wasn't our thing anymore. It was his thing. And I was just around. Valentine's Day, the implosion begins. Demo night finally came. The vibe was off the moment I stepped into the space. It wasn't a startup demo vibe. No sticky notes, no whiteboards, no pizza boxes. It looked like a F*******ing TEDx after party. Wine glasses, string lights, curated guest lists, and a photographer snapping candid shots of authentic founder dynamics. Veronica introduced Matt like he was Tony freaking Stark. I wasn't even in the intro slide deck. No, I'm serious. He clicked past the team section and I wasn't on it. Like I hadn't built 80% of that codebase. My hands went cold. I looked at him from across the room, but he avoided my eyes. And guess who was seated at the VIP table with Matt Veronica? Obvi. She kept touching his arm, laughing loud at everything he said, like he was the funniest man alive. I walked to the bar to get something strong, but all they had was mocktails named after buzzword Series C Spritz, burn rate basil smash. Screw that. I just stood in the corner, watching them, watching her, watching him. They looked like a couple launching a brand. Not co-founders. Not lovers. Just two clout chasers riding the wave. The real kick in the gut near the end of the night. Matt pulled me aside like he was doing me a damn favor. Said, "Lauren, I need to talk to you about something important, but let's not ruin the vibe." Okay. Oh, that sentence. Let's not ruin the vibe. I was literally holding our pitch deck in my bag, the one we spent months building, and he was acting like I was the liability. I asked, "Is there something going on between you and Veronica?" He flinched. Not a big one, just a flicker, but I saw it. And he didn't deny it. He just said, "You've always been the builder. Lo, maybe it's time I take this company where it really belongs." I swear to God, I didn't hear the rest. My ears were ringing. All I saw was his mouth moving and that stupid red blazer reflecting the LED lights like he was glowing with betrayal. I left. Didn't cry, didn't scream. Just walked out into the cold parking lot. Sat on the hood of my car and stared at the concrete. That night, I didn't sleep. I drove straight to our office, the one I painted myself. I opened my laptop and backed up every line of code I ever wrote. Every design doc. Every Slack thread. Every Git history log with my name on it. I renamed the folder for when he thinks I'll stay quiet. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a breakup. This was war. When I woke up the next morning, I hadn't technically slept, more like laid there in my hoodie with my laptop open, watching the terminal window blink like a heartbeat I didn't trust anymore. Every time I thought about his voice. Maybe it's time I take this company where it really belongs. I wanted to scream. But I didn't scream. Instead, I opened my Notion doc and started writing. Not feelings, evidence. Git commits, design drafts, screenshots of text convos, meeting notes, old pitch decks that had my name on them before he started scrubbing me from the narrative. I made a folder labeled Ownership Evidence and another one called Investor Receipts. Because, yeah, I was pissed, but I wasn't gonna throw a tantrum in public. I was gonna *****ing document everything. That same day, I showed up to the office early. Earlier than him. I knew his dumb morning routine chai latte, gym podcast about hustle porn, and I knew I had 2 hours before he'd show. I walked in, still in my hoodie, still looking like a tech goblin who hadn't slept. I didn't give a damn. First thing I did, changed all admin passwords. I wasn't being spiteful. I was protecting what I built. Second thing, started pulling names off files that had co-founder labels and replacing them with initials, just so if he looked, it wouldn't trigger a fight. Yet. Third, I pulled up the cap table and started really looking at it. That's when it hit me. Veronica had filed paperwork 2 weeks earlier to make herself strategic advisor with 2% equity. Matt hadn't told me. Not once. He'd filed it behind my back. During the week, I was fixing API issues he said weren't urgent. I literally laughed out loud. Not a happy laugh. The kind of laugh that's half broken, half murdery. This man really thought he was slick. Later that day, we had a team sync. Me, Matt, and the dev crew. He walked in late. Of course. Wearing that red blazer again like it was part of his skin now. Everyone kind of smiled awkwardly, like they weren't sure if we were fighting or just weird founders. Matt gave some speech about next phase and positioning ourselves for acquisition vision, and I swear to God, if he said visionary trajectory one more time, I was gonna throw my laptop out the *****ing window. Then, in front of everyone, he said, "We'll be streamlining responsibilities moving forward. So Lauren will be focusing more on internal systems while I take point on partnerships." I stared at him. That wasn't something we discussed. That was a power move. Right there, in the middle of a team meeting, he was demoting me, subtly. Politely, but it was a *****ing demotion. I opened my mouth, then closed it, then smiled. Fake, tight. I just said, "Cool." Then I muted myself and opened a doc called Exit Plan. That night, I called Tina, our first angel investor. She's a no BS kind of woman. Used to be a VC before burning out and now just backs scrappy builders like me. She answered on the second ring. Lauren, been a minute. You okay? I didn't cry. I didn't say much. I just said, I think Matt's trying to edge me out. And I need to know if I can legally gut him if he screws with my shares. She paused. Then, girl, send me everything. Now. Next day, I got a lawyer. Technically, she was my friend's cousin who specialized in co-founder disputes. But after 10 minutes of looking at our docs, she looked up and said, do not let him present a loan at any demo or pitch from this point on. And start preparing to separate IP. It was surreal. Like I was suddenly in one of those founder breakup threads you see on Twitter where everyone picks sides and it gets messy and no one wins. Except I wasn't gonna let that be me. I wasn't just gonna walk away with a sad tweet and a therapy bill. I was gonna make sure people knew the truth. That Friday, Matt came to me like nothing happened. He dropped off a coffee on my desk, no sugar. The way I don't like it. He knows that. He always knew that. We should get drinks after work. Celebrate demo night success. I stared at the coffee. Can't. I've got calls with some compliance folks. He raised an eyebrow. Compliance for what? I smiled. For growth. You know, scalability. He didn't push. But I saw the flicker again. Like maybe. Just maybe. He sensed that I wasn't in his pocket anymore. A few days later, I got my first message from a dev on the team. Hey, can I ask something? Were you the one who built the analytics engine Matt said it was outsourced? My chest actually tightened. I replied with a screenshot of the commit logs. My name, my timestamps, my F*** in work. Outsourced, huh, loyal. He wrote back. Then, just so you know, people are starting to talk. Shit's feeling weird. That's when I realized I wasn't alone. Matt had been doing his quiet little campaign of Lauren's burned out, and she's moving into a more operational role for weeks, probably longer. And yeah, a few people believed him, but some didn't. Some knew what was up. So I leaned in, started taking late-night calls with the engineers, checked in on Slack at weird hours, dropped commits again just to remind people I'm still here. I didn't fight him publicly. I just became undeniable again. 2 weeks after demo night, Veronica posted a Medium article, How to Spot a Weak Link in Your Founder Team. It didn't name names, but it talked about emotional co-founders who can't scale with the vision and how sometimes we outgrow the people who helped us start. I laughed, because holy shit, this woman really thought she was the main character. I took the link, sent it to my lawyer, sent it to Tina, sent it to one of our enterprise clients who asked why I hadn't been at the last partnership call. I said, I wasn't invited. Apparently, I'm the weak link. He called me that night and said, I've been in startups 20 years. I know a founder when I see one. We're not signing anything unless your name's on it. I stared at my ceiling fan and smiled for the first time in weeks. Then the bomb dropped. Matt walked into our office one morning looking like shit, shirt wrinkled, eyes puffy. No Veronica in sight. He slumped into his chair and said, We need to talk. No preamble. Just those 4 words. I didn't say anything. He ran a hand through his hair, looked around the empty office, and said, Veronica pulled her contacts. No one's calling us back. The acquisition deal's dead. She said I wasn't enough without her strategy. I stared at him, didn't blink. He looked up, eyes wide like a kid who finally realized the fire he started burned down his house too. I think I've *******ed this up. I didn't respond. I just stood up, walked to the whiteboard, and erased his name from the vision slide he wrote. Then I said, Yeah, you did. The silence after I said that ice cold. Matt didn't say a word, just sat there staring at the board like maybe if he concentrated hard enough, the vision would reappear and fix everything. Spoiler, it didn't. After that, he stopped coming in every day. He worked from home, or so he claimed, but I could see his Git commits had dropped to 0. Slack dead, email useless. Meanwhile, I was busy. I got legal clarity on everything IP rights, founder equity, investor protections, Turned out the way our operating agreement was structured. If he went more than 21 days without active participation, I could file to dissolve his authority as acting CEO. And he'd already hit 13 days. So yeah, I started counting. A few days later, I walked into our dev team's Monday stand-up and said, "I'm restructuring workflows. I'll be stepping in as acting CTO temporarily." Nobody even blinked. One of the engineers actually fist bumped me. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about me taking power back. This was about everyone realizing Matt was all pitch, no product. I started scheduling 11S, checked in with each person, listened, took notes, asked what they needed to stay. Every single one of them mentioned how weird things had gotten since that Valentine's party thing. One dev even said, "Matt started acting like he was on Shark Tank or something. I just want to write clean code, not be part of a LinkedIn circus." Same. Bro, same. Then came the Veronica blowback. Tina sent me a link one morning. It was a Reddit thread from some startup employee community. The post title, "Any of y'all worked with Veronica Rain's sketch vibes?" The comments were wild. Apparently, she'd mentored other founders before, two of whom were now in legal battles over stolen IP, and one who literally had to shut down their startup after she convinced their CTO to walk away mid-round for a better opportunity. She was a pattern, AF ****ing startup parasite. I screenshot every comment, compiled it into a doc, added it to my defensive firepower folder. Then I sent it anonymously to every VC Matt had pitched to over the last 2 months. Petty maybe, necessary 100%. 3 days later, he texted me, "Matt, we need to talk, please." Me cool. Bring your lawyer. Matt Jesus. Low. Can we just be adults? Me adults don't go behind their co-founder's back and appoint a scam artist to the cap table. Matt, you've changed. That one made me laugh out loud. Like, really laugh. Bro, I didn't change. You did. You just didn't think I'd notice until you were already halfway out the door with the brand name, the deck, and the narrative. Anyway, his lawyer came. Well, zoomed in. The guy looked like a startup-y Gordon Ramsay slicked back hair, aggressive nose, too confident. "We'd like to propose an amicable transition of power," he said. Translation: "You're smarter than us and we want out without a lawsuit." I kept my face blank. No reaction. Matt is willing to sell his equity back at a fair market rate in exchange for a clean break and release of liability. Oh, so now he wants out. Cool. I leaned forward and said, "Only if I keep the name and the product." And he issues a public statement acknowledging I'm the sole creator of the platform. The lawyer blinked. Matt looked at me like I'd slapped him. Honestly, I should have. "You're seriously gonna make this public?" he snapped. I smiled. "You already did. You just thought no one was watching." The negotiation took a week. Tina backed me financially to buy him out. Said it was the best bet she ever made. Matt tried to stall. Said he needed time to think. But Veronica's scandals were spreading, and none of the VCs were taking his calls anymore. He finally signed the exit doc on a Thursday. I watched the DocuSign notification come through, stared at it for a second, then clicked open the final clause, effective immediately. Lauren Tran assumes full control of product, team, and company operations. My heart didn't race. I didn't cry. I just whispered, "It's mine again." And this time, nobody was taking it from me. I sent out a team-wide update the next morning. Just a short email. "Hey team, just a quick heads up, Matt's officially stepped down. The product and roadmap will stay the same, but leadership's now consolidated. I know it's been weird lately, but I want to rebuild this company the way we started it, with clarity, honesty, and a hell of a lot less ego. If you're still in, let's build something that actually matters." Low. The response is insane. One dev replied, "F*******, yes, let's go." Another sent me a cat meme with a tiny crown and the caption, "Queen of Scalability." I kept them all in a folder called Why I Stayed. 2 weeks later, I was invited to speak at a small founder event. Nothing big, just local folks. But someone had heard about the fallout and wanted the female founder who survived a co-founder split with receipts. I almost said no. Public speaking isn't my thing. I'm the hoodie in the corner kind of CEO. But something told me to do it. So I did. I wore jeans, boots, and my old launch hoodie. The one with our OG logo. Back before it got filtered through pitch decks and marketing strategies. When I walked on stage, someone whispered, "That's her," like I was some kind of legend. Weird. But okay. I told the story. Not the drama, not the tea, just the facts. How I built something from scratch. How I almost lost it trying to be polite. And how I took it back without burning everything down. At the end, I said, "Turns out, resilience looks a lot like documentation and quiet revenge." Who knew? The room laughed, clapped, cheered. I wasn't used to that, but it felt good. Not like ego, just relief. Like maybe I wasn't crazy for fighting back. After the talk, a girl about 23 came up to me. Said she'd just launched her first startup and already had some guy trying to take over her pitch deck. He says it's just better optics. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Make a folder. Keep every email, every design file, every Slack message. You never know when you'll need to prove you weren't just the girl in the hoodie." She nodded. And I saw something familiar in her face. That early stage burn, that stubborn spark. She was gonna be fine. Matt hasn't texted me since the buyout. But Veronica, oh, she's spiraling. Her Medium got deleted. Her mentorship site now redirects to a blank page. Someone DM'd me saying she tried to launch a new cohort and only got 2 signups. I didn't say anything. Didn't repost. Didn't gloat. Just screenshot the broken link and saved it in a folder titled Karma. Quiet. Business is better now. We launched V2. Hired 2 new devs. One of them's a woman who literally said in her interview, "I'm tired of pretending like I didn't build half the code." I shook her hand and said, "You're hired." She laughed. Then she cried. And I got it. We all just want to build without being erased. I still keep Matt's coffee mug in the office. The one with the cracked handle and the words "Startup Dad" on the side. It's on the shelf above my desk. Not for nostalgia. Just to remind myself, never again. It's weird. You know, you spend so much time fighting to reclaim something, your work, your name, your damn life, and then you get it all back, and suddenly, it's quiet. Too quiet. No alarms blaring, no texts from lawyers, no strategic backstabbing via social media, just normal. And that shit is scary. Like, what do you do when there's no crisis? I didn't know. So I did what I always do when I'm lost. I went back to the basics. I cleaned my apartment, top to bottom, like vacuumed behind the fridge type of cleaning. Found a sock from 2021 and a post-it that said, "Remember to breathe in my own handwriting." Dramatic, but kind of sweet. Then I rode my bike for the first time in months. Not metaphorically. My actual motorcycle, the one I bought with my first paycheck from a freelance API job back in college. I hadn't touched it in forever. Too busy being someone else's co-founder. Too tired from fighting for oxygen in a room that shrank every time Matt opened his mouth. But that day, the weather was crisp, the streets were empty, and I said, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk it. I got on and just rode. Didn't even have a destination. Just let the engine roar and the wind slap me in the face until I stopped thinking in bullet points and pitch decks. That's when I met Cam. It was at a gas station. Of all places. I pulled in, sweaty under my helmet, brain still buzzing from the ride. And there she was, standing next to this beat-up Ducati monster, pulling off her gloves and cursing under her breath. F asterisk 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 ink starters glitching again. I looked over and said, "You try checking the kill switch." She blinked, then smirked. That obvious? Huh, I shrugged. It's always the kill switch, or the damn fuse. She laughed. And I swear it was the first non-code related laugh I'd shared with someone in months. We didn't become besties on the spot or anything. It wasn't that movie moment cliche. But we kept bumping into each other. At the gym, at local bike nights, at a coffee shop that didn't even serve real milk, just nut-based approximations and judgmental stares. Turns out she ran a garage with her sister. Not like a cute TikTok DIY garage, a real one. Wrenches, grease, lift tables, the works. She used to work in tech too, front-end dev for a health app, but quit when her CTO tried to take credit for her UI revamp during a board demo. He said I was just the aesthetic glue. Like my F*** ing design didn't drive conversions. I felt that in my bones. So yeah, we bonded. Over code. Over bikes. Over being pushed to the sidelines by dudes with better pitch decks and worse ideas. One night, I told her about everything Matt, Veronica, the company split, the fallout. She didn't interrupt, didn't say sorry, just listened. When I was done, she took a long sip of her coffee and said, "You know what the hardest part is? Not the betrayal, not the rebuild. It's realizing they never saw you as real to begin with." And goddamn, she was right. That's what hurt the most. That Matt never really saw me not as a builder, not as a partner, just as someone who'd carry the back end while he made speeches. A couple weeks later, Cam invited me to her garage to help out. I showed up in clean sneakers like an idiot. She tossed me a rag and pointed at a disassembled carb on the bench. "Earn your keep," I grinned. And just like that, it started to feel like I was rebuilding something, not just engines, but myself. There was something grounding about it. Tangible. Nobody could gaslight you about whether you did the work when your hands were literally covered in grease and metal shavings. Back at the company, things were stabilizing. We landed a new contract with a telehealth startup, nothing flashy, but solid. I hired a junior dev who reminded me of younger me. Nervous, brilliant, unsure if she belonged. I told her, anyone who writes clean code and triple checks logic absolutely belongs. She cried in the bathroom after her first sprint review. Said it was the first time she wasn't second-guessed during a demo. Made me want to kick a hole in a wall and hug her at the same time. Matt, meanwhile, had gone full ghost. No LinkedIn updates, no social posts, no Medium articles. Last I heard, he tried pitching a new AI fintech tool and got shredded on a founder Discord for having fake traction numbers. Not my circus anymore. I didn't gloat, didn't post cryptic quotes or subtweets. I just got back to work. Let the product speak. Let the team grow. Let the quiet rebuild my bones. Then came the event. Some founders showcase thing. Fancy hotel ballroom. Free wine. Bad lighting. Great networking. I wasn't planning to speak. Just there to support a few devs who were demoing our new UI. But the MC bailed last minute and the organizers straight up begged me to fill in. "Please, Lauren, we need someone legit." I sighed. Looked down at my beat-up Vans. Legit wasn't how I felt, but I walked on stage anyway. Held the mic, took a breath, and said, "Hi, I'm Lauren. I build stuff. Sometimes I break it, but mostly, I try to make things that last." The crowd leaned in. So I told them a bit of my story. Kept it short. No tea. Just truth. There was a time I let someone else tell my story for me, but not anymore. Now I write the docs, ship the builds, and sign the contracts. If you're in this room wondering if you're enough, trust me, you are. Just back it up with receipts. When I walked off stage, a woman in the crowd mouthed, "Thank you." I didn't know her. Didn't need to. We'd both been erased at some point. But now we were holding the pens. After that, things just started clicking again. We rolled out a new feature that actually saved a client 40% in processing time. Got picked up by a mid-tier tech blog as one to watch. Nothing viral, just a blip. But it felt good, like the universe quietly nodding. One night, I was at Cam's garage, elbow deep in a disassembled clutch. She looked up from her own bench and asked, "You ever gonna let yourself chill?" I wiped my face with my sleeve. "When there's less asterisk T to fix." She chuckled. "There's always asterisk T to fix. Doesn't mean you don't get to breathe." She wasn't wrong. So I sat down. Let the oil settle. Let the silence exist. And yeah, maybe for the first time in a while, I actually breathed. I'm not saying I'm healed. This isn't a story about revenge making you whole. It's not a F asterisk asterisking superhero arc. It's just life. Messy, brutal, weirdly beautiful. You lose people you thought would never leave. You rebuild things you thought were gone forever. And if you're lucky, you find someone in a gas station parking lot who hands you a wrench and reminds you what real partnership feels like. 3 months passed like nothing and everything. The company was stable. My name was finally on everything: contracts, press blurbs, product documentation, even the damn Wi-Fi login. It felt good, secure. Still didn't feel real, though. Not until the first major investor meeting without Matt. Big tech conference downtown. One of those sleek tower hotels where the carpet always feels like it's overcompensating for bad taste. I walked in with my new COO, Jamie, a quiet genius who'd saved our budget projections more times than I could count, and we set up in a shared demo space with 3 other startups. I wore my black hoodie again. Not for branding, for me. We'd just gotten the product to V2. It was clean, fast. Had a legit use case now. We weren't just another shiny app, we were solving something real. I knew it. My team knew it. The clients knew it. So I wasn't scared this time. Until I saw him. Matt, sitting in the corner of a pitch huddle wearing a suit that didn't quite fit. Clean shave. New startup name on his badge. I actually laughed. Quietly, to myself. Because of course he was here. Of course he'd rebranded. Some PR girl handed him a mic and I heard him say, "My last project was a proof of concept. This one's built for scale." What if asterisking line? I walked past him with my badge out, Jamie behind me, laptop tucked under my arm. Didn't stop, didn't flinch. And when he looked up and saw me, that half second of panic on his face. Yeah. That was the closure I didn't know I needed. Later that day, a reporter pulled me aside. Said he was working on a feature about women in tech who'd survived co-founder splits. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in it. Felt a little too clickbait. But he wasn't gross about it. You don't have to tell me the drama. I just want to know how you stayed. I thought about it. About those nights in the garage with Cam. About Tina calling me at 2 a.m. just to say don't let him steal your voice. About the junior dev who cried when I let her lead a sprint. Then I said, I didn't stay. I rebuilt. There's a difference. The article dropped a week later. It didn't name Matt. But it didn't have to. The headline, she was almost erased. Now she's running the show. The photo was me standing in front of the office whiteboard, smiling without trying to. Comments were surprisingly decent. No trolls, just people tagging friends with things like, "This is why we document *T and protect your IP. Queens." Felt weird, but also deserved. The twist came 2 weeks later. I was at a client lunch, halfway through a salad I didn't even want, when I got a text from Jamie. "Jamie, hey, did you ever do a full sweep on legacy accounts tied to Matt's email?" I blinked. Me, I thought I did. Why? Jamie, because someone just tried to access our beta repo through his credentials. My stomach dropped. Not because I thought we were hacked, we weren't. I had security protocols, MFA, audit logs. But because that meant he still thought he had a way in. Still thought he was entitled to something. I left my salad, walked straight outside, called our security lead. Run everything. Check every SH key, every damn webhook. Kill any legacy tokens. Now. She got it done in an hour. Matt's access was revoked across the board. He never should have had anything left, but he'd clearly tried something. A tiny, last-ditch attempt to stay relevant. It didn't work. But it did remind me this wasn't over just because it was quiet. I called Tina that night. Told her everything, Matt. The attempted access, the article buzz. She laughed and said, "Congrats, you're officially someone worth sabotaging." I rolled my eyes, but I knew what she meant. This wasn't just about product anymore. It was personal to people now. I wasn't just a founder, I was proof. Proof that women who get pushed aside don't disappear. We document, we rebuild, we outlast. That week, we onboarded our biggest client yet. A logistics company that found us through the article and said, "We've been looking for someone who gets it." They didn't want flashy, they wanted functional. And we had that in spades. The deal went through. I signed the contract. Then I shut my laptop and walked out to the garage where Cam was replacing her clutch plates and said, "We're buying margaritas tonight. Not drinking. Buying." She grinned. "I'll get the good salt." It was a quiet night. No big party, just us, 2 bikes, 2 drinks, and music through a crappy Bluetooth speaker. At one point, I said, "I still can't believe I almost gave this up." She looked over. "You didn't. You just needed to remember who the F asterisk 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 you are." I nodded. "Didn't need a whole speech. That line was enough." A few days later, I got an email from a name I hadn't seen in over a year. Veronica Rains. Subject line, "For what it's worth." I stared at it for a full 5 minutes, then opened it. Just one paragraph. "I lost a lot too. I wasn't trying to destroy you, I just thought Matt had the better angle. I was wrong. You were always the one who built it. Sorry I didn't see that sooner." No signature, no follow-up. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. Some apologies come too late to matter. But I saved the email anyway. For the folder. About a week later, one of our interns asked me if I ever thought about giving talks full-time. "You're really good at this stuff. Inspiring. I mean..." I blinked. Me inspiring. I still drink gas station coffee and code in sweatpants. But then I remembered the girl who came up to me after that first founder talk. The one who mouthed, "Thank you." I remembered how I used to watch panels hoping for someone who didn't look like they belonged on the cover of Wired. So I said, "Maybe, if I can do it without becoming cringe." She laughed and said, "That's literally why you'd be perfect." I don't know if I believe in karma. I've seen too many jerks succeed. Too many good people get steamrolled. But I do believe in cycles, and maybe this one's finally closing. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. Matt, Veronica. The people who ghosted me when it got messy. They're just names now. Blurred outlines in a chapter I don't read out loud anymore. My favorite hoodie, the one from our launch day, with the ink slightly faded and the cuffs fraying, is framed in my office now. Not for show. Just as a reminder of where I came from, of what almost got taken, of who I had to become to take it back.